Okay, where's this going? First 20 minutes, it's
Yeah.
like, oh man. And I'm seeing this at the movie theater. So it's like, yeah, right in your face. Exactly. It's right in your face.
And we're back.
We are back. So, welcome back. And today is George's movie, right?
Yes. So my movie is Anora, and this movie won the Palme d'Or. It was a couple of months ago. I kept seeing this movie that kept winning all these awards, and it kept just had a momentum. And it's like, oh, I'm curious. I gotta see what's going on with this movie. What's it about? So the movie stars Mikey Madison as Anora, Mark Eydelshteyn as Ivan or Vanya, and a wealthy Russian oligarch, Yura Borislov as Igor, a Russian henchman hired by Toros to look after Vanya, Karen Karagulian as Toros, the Armenian handler employed by Vanya's father, to look after him. There's this kid that they're keeping an eye on, and the
other Armenian.
A couple of others, yeah. But let's move on. So the movie, I thought when I first heard about it, that it sounded like Pretty Woman, and this sex worker or who gets involved with this Russian oligarch, young kid, and then they hang out together, and then actually he proposes to her and they get married. When I started watching the movie, first I thought, did I rent the correct Vanya? Anora? Which version did I rent? It was very, very pornographic actually, the beginning. But I'm thinking the movie's gotta go somewhere. But then it gets going. It's actually really funny. It's basically the sex worker getting married to this Russian oligarch, and then the father and the mother finding out, and they're like, nope, we don't like this coming from, and then they fly from Russia to put an end to that. And then of course the kid, once he finds out the father's coming, he disappears, and the movie becomes almost like a mystery because now they gotta find the young man.
It's actually the son of an oligarch.
Yeah, the son of an oligarch. They gotta find him because the parents want the marriage and all. So, and it's kind of like the shenanigans they get into. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed the movie actually. I really like the characters. I like that she's really plucky. The story is kind of it ended up being like a comedy actually. Too. I felt like it was like a comedy, and just all the things.
Oh, very much so. I think it's very funny.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And then I mean, I can see why he had why he's getting. But once you get past the first maybe 20 minutes, you can see. Oh, I can see why this is actually what the movie's so popular. But yeah, so I really enjoyed it. That'd be a good movie.
Wait, is this Chekhov? Is this Uncle Vanya?
No.
Okay.
Richard. Oh.
No, he didn't see it.
What the hell are you doing here if you're not seeing it? I was waiting to see you.
Okay. For the first 15 minutes, I felt like George is like, I was wondering, should I continue watching this? I feel like I'm watching soft porn, right? But as I had to review it, I stayed and watched it. And it was basically a day in the life of a stripper / escort / hooker. Although overly descriptive for my money, I see where they were going. It was basically, her name is Anora, they call her Annie. Annie's Mikey Madison, right? Average working night. It was like a night, her average day. That's kind of what it was. We're seeing it through her eyes. However, this night is going to be very different. And boy, is it very different. This night, her Prince Charming, quotes, Prince Charming is about to sweep her off her feet. She can't believe her good fortune. This is where the movie really takes off, and I'm all in it for the ride. It's like, then you just kind of, I ended up loving this film, and it went to all kind of places I just wasn't expecting. Mikey Madison is Annie, Anora, is really plucky. Like you said, she's kind of a New Jersey lower working class girl.
Tough girl.
Yeah, tough girl. But she's very feminine.
Street smart.
Street smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what sort of business Ivan's Mark, okay, Eydelshteyn
It doesn't really matter what he does.
Eydelshteyn,
Yeah, he was good though.
But it
yeah.
doesn't matter what he does. It's more him. You know what I mean?
Well, I know.
Vanya.
That's my initial comment, and it's not the final statement.
waiting
I'm
for
not
the
sure
final.
what he does. The parents do, right? But I'm sure it was questionable.
But they were very wealthy.
Yeah, they're
period.
very
You know,
wealthy.
yeah.
And they're very rich. They're very, yes. The son is sweet, but really coked out and spoiled. I was like laughing when she heard his parents were not pleased with her son being married to a prostitute. And she was like deeply offended. I'm not a prostitute. Although he was paying her $15,000 for the week to basically hang out and provide services. Right. But I'm not a hooker. Right. Anyways, they are basically looking down on her is really it. She's a hooker. What are you talking about, right? However, she was looking down on her two guards. She had two guards, and she was looking down on them. She was like really kind of nasty to them. They were just basically two working class guys, Nick and Igor, Paul Weissman, and Yura Boris. I was telling Patty, Yura Borisov is kind of like every hockey player. I look like every hockey player I ever met. Or Canadian. This film is very funny. The beginning was very graphic, so I wouldn't say it was,
Don't show your kids.
yeah, exactly. It's not a family film. I was a little uncomfortable. I thought it was a little gratuitous, and the movie would not be great for a general audience, but I did stay with it, and I saw why it was getting rave reviews. It is just takes you on so many, from laughing to almost crying to just her performance was amazing.
She was amazing.
She went through all kinds of different. There's a scene where he's a kid, right? And he's playing his
video games.
Yeah, video games, and she's just like hugging him. She's I just was
doing her job.
I was just cracking up. It was like she was like a dog, She was like hanging on to him, just kind of hugging him, and he's like playing his video games. And it's obviously she's a very bright girl, and she's a really cool girl, and it's like I'm sure she would have rather been doing different things, right, than just that. But anyways, I really suggest if you're over 21, you should see it.
I really loved this movie too. I wasn't really that keen on watching it, but that girl, Mickey.
Yeah,
I called her Mikey.
Mikey,
Yeah.
well, it might be Mikey.
Yeah, Mikey Madison. Yeah.
I've seen her in other things, and I really like her. So that kept me interested. Plus, I had to do it for the podcast. But
Yeah, there you go.
what I loved about it was the plot. The plot and the side players were just as funny. They made up the whole thing. Like the henchmen, they were great. I mean, they were hysterical. Do you know what I mean? And I think in some ways they acted like probably henchmen don't act because they were too human.
It was also like when they're trying to hold her down and
Right.
she's beating the crap out of them and punches that guy and throws him to the table and everything. And they're like, do you want to hold her down? She's like an animal.
So I gotta say the plot, because it's a great plot, and the minute you hear the plot, you go, "Oh, that could be really funny." Everybody was great in it, I thought. So yes, I would recommend seeing it. Lon?
Well, I was sort of like you guys too. Like you said, the first part of the movie, it's like, oh. And, the funny thing is, all I knew was just the basic, like a 2-sentence synopsis. And
They kept comparing it to Pretty Woman, which I thought it was nothing like Pretty Woman.
That I didn't hear, thankfully, because it's like, no, I knew sort of like nothing about the movie, except that it won the Palme d'Or. And I thought, well, that's pretty prestigious, right? And then it was an independent, cheaply made film. So I decided, okay, I'm watching this, and I had the same reaction. It's like, okay, where's this going? First 20 minutes, it's like, oh man. And I'm seeing this at the movie theater. So it's like, right in your face. Exactly. It's right in your face. But I said, I still like it because it's really showing you what these women do. Yeah. I mean, they're showing the reality of it. So it's like, okay.
That's exactly what they're showing you.
And then what's funny is that, okay, so the reason they meet the two main characters is, or actually, I shouldn't say he's not a main character. He's at the forefront, but he disappears, like I said. But Vanya's there, but they ask, the owner of the strip club. It's like, or I'm assuming it's a strip club. I don't know what you would call that kind of place.
Strip club.
But it has the sex workers are there, right? Says,
she does not consider herself a sex worker.
You speak Russian, right? We need somebody who speaks Russian. Now, she's always sort of like not really spoke a lot of Russian. She doesn't even like speaking Russian, obviously. But she decides, okay, I'll go to it. Turns out to be this young kid. He doesn't even look, he looks like he's 17 years old, right? But again, very wealthy family. He's in there. So they hook up. Now, he takes a liking to her and says, oh, yeah, well, why don't you come up to my place and for a party? Then it's like, why don't you come to spend me with a week? And like I said, I'll give you so much money. That's like, let's all go to Vegas.
Right.
His buddies, and it's like, so she becomes part of his little circle of friends, right? They go and party with, because I'm just assuming the sex, to be quite honest.
I think he liked her company.
Well, he seemed comfortable, definitely very comfortable with her, which is why her reaction is completely business.
Yeah,
let's do this.
Totally business.
But then, like you said, there's a scene with the video game, and she's still trying to do her part of the business, right? But, she's getting drawn into it. So once they go in Vegas, that's when the marriage proposal comes.
Right.
And that's like, or he just says, why not? Let's do it. And she's the one saying no. No, like, you're just on drugs, you're stupid,
And he was.
She gave almost every excuse not to do it, but he literally convinces her, no, let's really do it. And that's the part, because I have to admit, I thought the young kid had a lot of charm. So I could see that he was such a goofy kid. I mean, that's all I can say. He was goofy.
Right.
But he was a kid. I mean, he was
seemingly
delightful,
exactly.
like a kid.
But he had a lot of money, so he could throw it all around. He just said, and in fact, one point, there's this great scene when they go to Vegas where his room isn't ready. And like the hotel manager's there said, I'm sorry, apologizing. And he pretends to throw a fit. And I say that only because that shows you his personality. Like, I'm just joking. So nothing serious with this kid. So she doesn't take him seriously, but then, she gets drawn into it. And then, like you said, once the family finds out he has been married, and
once the mother finds out,
boom, that's when the movie literally took off for me, because the situation she finds herself in, and I didn't even know it was a comedy. That was the weird part, because I thought, this can go really badly now for her,
right?
Because at one point she doesn't know where once he finds out the parents coming, like I said, he just bolts and runs. His handlers are there. They have to keep the girl there. It's like, okay, no. And literally they forcibly keep her there. And that's why I said, okay, because this can get really nasty.
The parents want to annul the marriage.
Mm-hmm. Well, they don't even care. They just want to make sure, no, she's going to stay there.
Right.
So that Yura Borisov plays Igor. And I thought his character was the odd one, because you could tell he's uncomfortable. Like, he doesn't want to hit her. He doesn't want to do anything they say to her, but he does it, because he's basically being paid as a hired hand, right?
And he seems to like her, too.
Yeah, he does.
Like,
Well, he seems to actually respect her.
Like, when she's cold,
No, I
he's the one that
don't
gives her the
respect. He
sweater.
likes her.
Right?
Well, I think
No,
I
I think he actually
disagree. I think that they're
She's got
both
chutzpah.
they're both kind of working class people.
Right.
He understands he
Vocation.
understands her gig.
Yeah.
Right, because he seems to be more adapted to, because he speaks Russian as well.
Right.
But, he seems to have lived. In fact, he lives with his grandmother or something. I can't even remember
his
the
grandmother.
dynamics of it. But yeah, so he has, like I said, there's some kind of old-fashioned kind of quality he has as far as the way he treats women compared to the two Armenian henchmen and everyone else, basically, even Vanya.
I thought the other henchman, though, was kind of okay. They were professional.
Oh, well,
They
that's the thing, that Karen Kugulian guy who plays Toros, he's hysterical in the movie. I thought he was a standout. He has to leave a baptism, just to deal with problems. And it's all these weird little scenes, and that's what I mean. There's so many. Like, I agree with you. You're on such a roller coaster ride of scenes, situations, and like I said, I didn't know if it was going to go dark at one point, but I'm laughing hysterically. Other points, seeing Igor finally step up to be the henchman.
Right.
When he has to become threatening, he actually becomes threatening, and you
Right.
see it in his face, and it's like, uh-oh. See, that's what I'm saying. I had no idea what to expect. And it keeps going, but it is Mikey Madison's movie. This is her.
Yep.
You are responding everything that she's going through because you are identifying with her. And you're right. She's not stupid. That's the great part about this character.
Well, it would have been a good movie even if she played stupid.
But she wasn't
Well, that's
stupid.
No,
the
I'm
thing.
saying she wasn't stupid, but
She was obviously a little naive, but she was always sort of
About
solid
love.
because what I love is she's saying she's not doing anything. She just wants to talk to Manya. That's
Yeah.
all. And I thought, see, that's smart. And so going through all the emotions she does too, and especially towards the ending, because even the ending surprised me a lot.
Surprised me too.
So I say this is a movie that, for example, I've seen most of the movies of the Academy Award. This is definitely a forerunner for me. I thought this was one of the best movies I've seen from last year.
Mhm.
You know, with Conclave.
right.
You know, it's a singular voice. So I give it to Sean Baker, who wrote and directed this movie. It is so well done, and he fortunately cast, because it's not just her. You're right. I think
It's the
the
whole
whole
ensemble.
cast is really good. That I love when somebody has such a singular voice and a singular story. And my problem is, I thought, oh God, yeah, if this was like a 100-minute movie, I would have liked it so much more. Maybe cut out all that stuff at the beginning and everything. But for as it is, I just thought it's a unique experience if you really
Yeah.
open your up
Yeah.
to these characters. Because again, to get emotionally involved with a character in a movie like this, especially her character,
Yeah.
I thought, I'm not going to identify with her at all. And then yet I'm completely with her by the end of the movie. I mean, I'm feeling everything she's feeling.
What do you think the score should be? Interesting.
The score?
Yeah, when we rate it.
Okay. What do I think it should be?
Yeah.
I'll give it a 9.
Oh, wow.
I'll give it a 9 too, actually.
Oh, I gave this a 7.
Oh
Yeah.
my
good.
God, 7.
Yeah, I give it a 9 too.
Hey, I almost would give it a 10. I mean, I
Yeah,
just
there's just something no.
Well, that's
no,
How long is the movie?
2 hours and like 20 minutes.
It
2
goes
hours
by
and-
so fast, though.
Uh-huh.
Well, as I said,
You
that
never
first,
stop.
That first 19
Well, no,
minutes.
I wondered
is like,
because you when you referred to it, I would have cut it down to about 100 minutes.
Yeah,
I
they,
said, how long
they,
could it be?
they could have cut that out.
The beginning part was a little too much, but they could have cut that, in a smaller.
Right.
I get the
also,
point. I get
it
the
also
point.
would give it a broader audience.
No, I'm not talking about
Yeah.
the point. Though. I'm just surprised at how long could this movie be? You're cutting it down to 100 minutes.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, I
Which is
can
the
see why.
standard
It was,
length of a
you know what?
movie.
In a way, it was almost like an Indiana Jones movie. It goes boom, boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom.
yeah,
it keeps
yeah.
going.
Yeah,
No,
There
as I
comes the
said,
ball.
Once
once it kicks in, it's amazingly
Fast.
entertaining, and all of a sudden, it's like that first hour. I almost I wish that was gone, and you just watch the second part of the movie. I mean, and like I said, I give it to her. It's her that is just I don't know how Sean Baker found her, but he did such a great job directing her, or she's got such
Right.
a talent as an actress to pull off that.
Yeah, she was excellent.
Mm.
Okay, so are we done?
we're
Yeah.
done.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's it for this week. We'll see you next
I'll be
week.
back.
And remember, subscribe, like us, and what is the other one, George? Comment. I always
Yes.
forget.
Let us know what you think.
Yes,
of Anora.
let us know what you think about
What song? What...